Hi and welcome to Mike's Corner. Christmas has literally appeared in my room overnight. And with saying that, postage days for Christmas are running out fast. Now, if you have someone that likes retro consoles and retro games, AliExpress appear to have the answer. And if you get it now, you'll get it before Christmas. So let's take a look at the R36S handheld gaming console. Let's get unboxing. I quite like the look of this one. Okay, got a couple of things here. We've got the console and we have a case for the console. So let's just throw that over there. We'll have a look at that later. So here we have the box. So we've got games console, we've got high resolution screen. Wow! This model is an R36S gamepad, manger, chip, and TF card as well. So let's scan around the side. Okay, so there's a couple of colors you can get it in. There actually are more colors because you can get it in orange as well and a couple of other colors, but I've got it in white. So it's a little tick on the white. Games console. And hard to see things here, which we do some close-ups of, but it's just the button layout and what the buttons do at the back as well. There's a DC input, the earphone input, OTG, and some other bits and pieces as well. So TF card, the OS card, and the back of the box looks quite nice as well. So it's got basically the system specs and basically how much RAM it has, CPU, kind of stuff like that, and some warnings on it as well, and made in China. No AliExpress massive sticker on it anywhere, which is a bonus. And it really, box damage, just kind of a little nick at the side there. Can't really see anything else on the box to show any damage. So let's pop it open and see what we've got on the inside. Okay, just a empty part of the box. Now, well protected by the look of it. It's in a bag and it appears to be in a kind of a spongy layer on the top as well. So let's see if we can take it out. There is some damage here, which is interesting because it is on the corner where there was a bit of damage on the top of the box, but not to show the amount of damage that's actually on the inside. So I'm betting this has been knocked about a fair bit for it to actually damage the inside of the box more than the outside of the box. But hopefully the console is in one piece. So we've got this, that's a console, and look at that. You can see the extent of the damage. And there's some, oh, okay, there's some bits and pieces in here. There is a USB-C cable, which is great. There's some screen wipes for which it looks like applying, gosh, a screen protector, which so it comes with an included screen protector. I like that. More companies should actually do stuff like that. Let's have a little look at the instructions. I'm not thinking we're going to see a lot here. That it's pretty much a very small piece of paper with just some specs on it and charging instructions and button layout again. Okay, so before we take this out, should we talk about how much I paid for this? So I paid £24.65 when I purchased this. The price seems to go up and down quite a lot, but this was the cheapest that I could find it anywhere. So let's have a look at the actual, let's have a look at the goods. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Oh, there we go. So that's pretty nice. Let's have a feel of the buttons. Clicky. So I'm pressing on this button and they appear to be connected in some way because you can see that the Y button is also moving I wonder if that does it on any others. Yeah, does it on that one as well. So I'm thinking that maybe the membrane underneath it or the connector is all moving at once. Hopefully that won't show too much of a problem, or it won't be too much of a problem for unusing the device. Clicky buttons on your center. Normal feel, feels pretty nice. These feel exactly as every other console on the market has. They're actually very similar to a Switch ones. That's very similar to a Switch ones. Let's have a look around the side. So we've got the TF2, so that's obviously for your micro SD card, for you to load ROMs onto it. Looks like we've got a power button here. Is that a reset button or a brightness button? Nothing on the top. Volume buttons on the side. That's the OS SD card. And at the bottom, we've got DC, and that's obviously where you're charging it from. You get your headphones jack. OTG. OTG is for you to be able to connect full-size USB drive or pen drive to that, or connect it even to your phone. So, okay, so that's extra storage, I suppose. On the back, we have made in China. We have some voltages, what model it is, and we have it's not a generic Nokia battery, but what do we got here? It is a removable battery, no label on it though, which is interesting. So, okay, let's get this all put back together and let's get some power into this thing. Okay, loading up. Let's see how fast this loads up in real time. Okay, that was pretty quick. And the screen is pretty nice. In fact, the screen's really nice. Let's bring you down a little closer so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, now we're a little closer to the device, so let's have a little flick through what we've got here. We've got Super Nintendo, N64, I can't imagine that's going to run well. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Mega Drive, Dreamcast. Really? Sega Game Gear, Neo Geo, PlayStation, Sony PSP, Scum VM, options, all games, favourites, System 1, System 2, Capcom. Oh, well, I quite like the idea of having those on there. That's cool. We've got MAME on there. I wonder how many MAME games will actually be on here. So, as I said, you can plug an SD card in here and have more ROMs onto it. There is also a community where they update the OS and install different operating systems on these devices as well. Not sure how far I'm going to dive into this in that respect, but I wanted something that I could quickly grab for, instead of taking out my actual Game Boys or my Game Gears and stuff like that. It'll be nice just to quickly grab something, take it out. It's not worth as much as my vintage stuff, so it doesn't really matter if it gets damaged. That yeah, I thought this would be kind of the perfect thing for the price I had to pay for it. So let's get some games loaded up and see how it runs. Okay, so what I used to do back in the day to test an emulator was to load up Mario 64 and to see if there was any textures missing, on how fast it actually run, because in the early days of N64 emulation, it was touch and go whether it would actually run these games. So let's see what this portable device can do loading this up. Okay, so now I've adjusted the camera to make it a better visibility for you guys seeing on the actual camera, that I could show you a little bit better the graphical glitches that are happening. As you can see, the graphics are kind of molding into the textures of the castle. But does it stop the game from being quick and playable? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's definitely not running at full speed from what I can see here. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. When I saw N64 in there and a couple of the other emulators on like the PSP and the PlayStation, I was thinking to myself, maybe not. But let's load up another system and see how that runs. Okay, so we've loaded up Capcom vs Marvel on the PlayStation emulator on it. So let's see how well this runs. So yeah, Chun-Li, okay, don't really care. Go, just work. Just want to see what the speed of the game is. So far, it's looking okay. So the buttons around the sides are your shoulder buttons. Gosh. It seems okay, really. I mean, it seems to be running quite better than the PSP emulator, but this is not a very taxing game. So maybe we'll load up something a little bit more taxing than this. Here we go. This seems to be running fine. Not sure which one's the accelerator. Oh, there we go, moving. Right, so off we go. Yeah, it seems to be running fine enough. Woo! So this emulator for the PlayStation seems to actually run really well. Can't see any choppiness going on, and being able to drive around, it's as best as it's going to be really for this kind of handheld. Ridge Racer with its helpful driving tips where it spins you around the corner without you actually turning the corner. Apart from that there. So yes, that seems fine. So let's try a couple of the other emulators and see how they go. Okay, so now we've loaded up Metal Slug on the Neo Geo. So let's see how well this runs. Insert coin. Yes, please. Let's get a couple of credits in there. I'm hoping this runs well. It seems to be running fine. It seems absolutely fine. No choppiness, but hopefully that stays the same. It seems to be running perfectly. Like that. That's pretty nice. Okay, so we loaded up Fire Red on the Game Boy Advanced, and let's see what that looks like. See if it actually runs at full speed, which I think it should do for this. Okay, so you now join me in the game. So let's have a little run about. So I can use the either of the control methods, and let's have a little walk around. It seems to be running as it should. It's all fine. Walking outside. Oh, didn't mean to walk back inside. Let's walk outside. It's Pokemon. Running as Pokemon should. Okay, so now we're running an R-Type 3 on the Game Boy Advance, and it seems exactly as you would expect. It's running fine. So I'm a bit of a sucker for a shoot 'em up, so we're going to load the Capcom System 2 version of Gigawing. Put some credits into that bad boy. I'm just using up all my power-ups as soon as I can. This is running fine. So I would say the Capcom System 2 emulations runs fine on it, and I like it. Love a good shoot 'em up. Okay, so now that brings us to the case that we got with this. Let's get it out of this wrapper. So as you can see, God, it's so noisy. So as you can see, AliExpress, label of choice. So let's get it out of this noisy wrapper and see how the console fits inside. So not sure who in the marketing thought this was a case for this, because it's quite evident that it's nowhere near the right size. The only saving grace of this is that it is a case and it's a protective case, and the console kind of fits inside if you want it to knock about. This is annoying because you can't, there's no Velcro strap on it, but it's a case, but they've marketed it as a case for this, which it's definitely not. So, meh. So there we have the R36S gaming console. So you need to set your expectations a little bit on this. So anything that's a game console that was higher end back then, like the Dreamcast, the PSP, stuff like that, you know it's not going to run well. But everything else, like your Game Boy Advanced, that kind of stuff's going to run really well. And the Neo Geo stuff actually runs really well on this. Your Capcom emulators run well. So in that respect, it's quite a cool little handheld. And for the price, there's not much out there that can beat it. So that brings us to the end of this video, and if this is something that helped you for a Christmas present, please whack the like and subscribe. Costs you nothing, helps me out as a channel, gets those viewers coming in, and helps me get some more cool things like this to show you. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.